You're listening to Kate Palmer from sparkletart.com, and today I'm going to alter this really cute Heidi Swapp Journal note cover using my Magicals from Lindy's Stamp Gang. Yes, they work on fabric. Right, so I've got some Magicals from Lindy's Stamp Gang in Shabby Turbine Teal, Tiffany Lou Blue and Hydrangea Blue. And I've got this really cute little Heidi Swapp journal cover. And you can put refillable little journals in here. It's just small, but I'm thinking it's perfect to carry around in my bag. So I'm just going to lay this out flat. Now, a lot of people don't know that you can use Magicals to colour fabric, so that's what I'm doing today, just so you can see how to do it. Now I'm just brushing some clean water on here so it gets wet and it's evenly wet. Now I'm not worried too much about that gold because that will resist, so I'm just brushing it straight on. Ready for the next step. And squeeze a little bit. Alright, so my Tiffany Lou Blue will be my lightest colour. I'm going to apply that first. So I'm just going to start by adding this onto every second line here. Now the great thing about the Magicals is you can completely control the depth of the colour by adding a little or a lot of the Magicals powder. So I can start beautiful and light and then go and make it darker later. Okay, so that's the first side there. Add a bit more water. A bit more of the Tiffany Lou Blue. I'm just going to repeat that on the other side as well. Okay. Now, if this dries out at all, you might need to add a little bit more water to keep things flowy. And add a little of this beautiful dark colour. Now this is going to be quite strong compared to the Tiffany Lou Blue, so I'm going to start by adding it just here in the middle. So as you can see, that's quite a strong colour, and what I want is for those two to blend. So without adding any more colour to my brush, I'm just dragging this out into the Tiffany Lou Blue. And because I've got that beautiful base of water there, you'll get blending on those two colours. So going from one side to the other, just so you get even colours between the two. And of course adding a second layer, just so it doesn't look spotty. So again, brush from one side to the other, just so you've got the same colour variations on both sides. That's looking so yummy. Now, on to the next colour. Now this next one is the Shabby Turbine Teal. Just going to grab a bit on the brush and mix it in here. I'm going to start from the middle because I think, because this is also a dark colour, what I'm going to do is mix this with the Tiffany Lou Blue as well. Okay, so I'm laying down this nice dark centre. Back to that Tiffany Lou Blue. And I'm going to start by applying it towards the edge of that Shabby Turbine Teal, just so I've got the strongest concentration of Tiffany Lou against the lightest combination of the Shabby Turbine. And now what I'm going to do is get that brush with clean water and do what I did before, which is just drag the colour one over the other. Now that Shabby Turbine hasn't blended quite as well as the Hydrangea, so what I might do here is just add a little bit more. Again, that water helps the colours blend. I'm just going to make sure I go over these little white patches on the gold as well, just so I get a bit of colour. And what I might do is grab that Shabby Turbine Teal again, just add a bit over the middle here, just so it's got that chance to blend. Just going to add a few splots, just so it's not quite such a line between the two. Okay, just drag this out a little bit more with a whole batch of water, so that colour really gets into it. Now while this is still wet, I'm just going to wipe over the gold. I'll do this again once it's all dry. Just helps remove any of that dye colour that doesn't belong there. Now that beautiful gold paint is acting just like a resist. I'll let this dry for a few hours and come back in a minute. I've left it for a few hours to dry, and you can see how beautiful and subtle and blended those colours are. But the little dots and flicks that I've added really add something to the background. So I know this is going to be my front, but if I stamp on this, that little ridge is going to stop the stamp working properly. So I'm just going to stuff this in here, so I know where my front is. And that way, any image I apply will be centered and flat. So I'm going to start with this heart. So I've stamped the heart using archival ink. This will make sure that it's permanent. I've used a piece of scrap paper and cut out a little mask, and then using golden paints and a brayer, I'm actually using the paint to stamp with, so it'll be really sturdy as I pull this in and out of my handbag. So I've added a few swirls, made it grungy, but stuck to the same colours that I've used in my project, so blues, turquoise, black, and a little bit of gold, because there's that gold in the background. So the colours I've used are carbon black, Micaceous iron oxide, cobalt teal, cobalt turquoise, and iridescent bright gold. Once I've done that, I've just coloured the heart in with the cobalt turquoise and the cobalt teal to act as a base for the next step. Now, as a final bit of wow for my project, I'm going to be using the golden airbrush medium with my Magicals, and I'm going to make that heart just a little bit more special. So I've got the delphinium turquoise and Tiffany blue, and I've just mixed them separately with the golden airbrush medium. I'm painting the heart with the Tiffany blue, getting a nice even coat, and then while this is still wet, I'm adding a little bit of that delphinium turquoise. And what you'll find is the airbrush medium makes your Magicals behave a little bit like liquid watercolours, so you'll get some of those bleeding effects, some of that beautiful movement of the colour and pattern. I found I didn't get quite as much sparkle as I would if I was using this on paper. I got more of a satin appearance, but it looks amazing. Now, not to waste any, I'm flicking a little bit of that delphinium turquoise mixture all over the journal cover just to make it a little bit grungier. And then I'm adding a little bit of that to some of my stamped elements to make them a little bit more unique, to fill in a little bit of the gappy areas and just to make it a bit more mine. And I'm almost done. Really, the only thing I've got left to do is go over some of those black areas on the heart with a paint pen just to make it stand out a bit. And there it is, gorgeous, beautiful, tough enough to throw in your bag and take with you, but pretty enough to be something you enjoy looking at. I hope you've liked this project. I loved this, and I'll see you later with more. Bye.